Welcome to Bricked and Mortared. Today I'm going to talk to you about the construction management model that I use and why I don't use the traditional head contractor model that most people are using, which is based off rates. Hello, I'm Kirsty Merriman. I'm a bespoke infill property developer based out of Auckland, New Zealand. And today I'm going to describe to you briefly the model that I use, an overview. I'm then going to go on and talk about the traditional model and why it's not for me. I'm then going to go back to my model and describe how I put mine together. And then I'm going to talk about some of the considerations of that model before I conclude. So the model I use is an alternative. It's called construction management. And that's where I'm the centre of it. I am the developer. I've come up with a market opportunity. I've got the money. I'm putting it together. I'm responsible. So in with me, I've got my legal advisors who will have gone through my contract. My contract's already established. I have my financial advisors, and I may or may not have a JV partner or a land partner. But very importantly for me, I operate as if I'm one company, even though I'm not. I have my site manager, who is just like part of what I'm doing. I then have my construction management team. That's a fixed fee. I have my experts, the consultants, you can see there, the surveyors, the engineers, whether it's structural or civil, the planners. I then have the trades, and there's a whole variety of them. The tiler, the painter, the roofer, the carpenter, the cabinet makers, the floor sanders, the civils, the electrician, the plumber, the drain layers. All of these people are paid directly by me. And we have open collaborative communication. That's my model. The traditional model, the one that most people are used to, and I've done projects on, is called the head contractor model. That's where I go out to a known company of different scales. You can have head contractors that are very large group home builders. I'm not really talking about them. They're quite a different setup, but it's more the smaller ones, head contractors, where they will respond to your tender, and it's usually based off a build rate. You don't know how it's made up. They choose the sub-trades. They take the risk, and they've usually put the design out to a supplier and have got a cost for materials. And they may or may not have put a margin on that cost, or they're just relying on the build rate being right. For me, it's not for me, because I don't know who the subcontractor is. I don't have control over them. Because they've put out a build rate and it may be a fixed price, then they want to optimize their cost. They will drive the cost for that subcontractor down. I've seen it happen. You'll think you've got one electrical team, it'll be switched out for another team. You think you've got one jib company and you discover that the painter is subcontracting it out to someone else who you may not even be able to communicate with, or may not be of a quality that meets your requirements. Of course, when you've got bigger companies, it runs a bit differently because they've got a whole skill mix there. But that model's not for me. I like to talk. I like to know who my trades are, what they're doing, and what their work is like. I like to enjoy my day. I'm on site a lot. I want to say hi. I want to know those people. So that model is not for me. So what's unique about my model? Well, let's quickly talk about the margins before I go on to that. So here there's another diagram. It's a stack. It shows the build-up of costs. So a head contractor, for instance, has got all of their costs. I'm paying for them. I'm paying for their overheads. I'm paying for their margin. I then have to return a margin. Okay, I really enjoy what I'm doing. But no matter what, I don't actually do it for free. I need to make a profit. If I want to have investors or land partners, I need to show a profit. So, yeah, we've got everyone wanting to make a profit, and it's building up so much. We've also got the built-in hidden margins, the rebates that a builder or a trade may have with a supplier. You buy more of our product, and at the end of the year, we'll give you money back. Or the point system, you stick with us and we'll give you points. You can get extra tools, or you may get a trip somewhere. That doesn't work for me because I need the money to go into my build. And the trade, they've got to be able to decide where they spend their own money. I don't want someone deciding that my profit goes into tools. So therefore, mine is changed in a few areas. First up, the site manager role. Well, that's a bit different to even others. So my site manager is labour only supply. We agree the payment rates per hour for the labour, the people. So if you're good, I should be expected to pay a little bit more. Not everyone's the same. I want to differentiate. I want to encourage skill. I want to pay for skill. And importantly, I've separated the materials out. The builder is not paying for those materials. It's on my account. He doesn't have that risk. And I can then procure materials. Okay, I'm flat out busy doing it. Maybe in the future I've got to change that. So I look for the best price. And it's interesting what you can get. Last year, when things were up high, I was finding that certain sheets of a particular board were up over $300 from one supplier. There were $250 from another. And then the joining elements were reversed. Where it was expensive with one other supplier, their joiners, aluminium joiners, were cheap at $23 per joiner. The cheap board, their joiner was $57. So what did I do? I matched it. And I think I saved about 20% on my cladding materials through doing that. Yeah, it took a bit of time, but it was worth it because it was a very big item. So that's my site manager. We agree a profit instead of a profit on materials. So to do the job, it's got to be worth it for him. But in the same light, he can't gouge me too much because if he does, I'm not going to be able to carry on. So it is open, it's transparent, it's collaborative. An agreed profit, and that's broken up and paid fortnightly. On the other side, another group, my construction managers, they feel like part of the same company. We're a work family, really. Well, they're not just a small group for me. They're a specialist group, and they've got a breadth of experience and skill. I pay a flat monthly fee for that. And within that group, I can access design expertise, quantity surveying expertise, health and safety expertise, and they do all the document control. And I can tell you that is worth a lot. And then, very importantly, it's the director's expertise. I've got a group that's got a director that's been around for decades. Okay, not lots and lots of decades. I think I'd get in trouble for that. Never mind. But also covered a multiple set of projects, whether they're commercial, fit-outs, large-scale apartments, or small residential bespoke builds, or social housing. I've got access to that by using a group like that. I don't just employ a project manager that may take a fee. They've got one set of expertise. I need more than that for what I want to do. I then, by having consultants report to me directly, I can keep the good ones. Okay, price is an issue, but very important to me is a consultant that can solve a problem, and I don't need to manage. I can also, if something goes wrong, I can readily swap that consultant out. I haven't done that as we've refined down our team. And then the trades. I know who is working on that task. I've had projects before where it's been subbed out and subbed out. I don't know who the people are. I don't know what their quality is. And you find out afterwards, and that's not necessarily a nice story. So by knowing my trades, knowing they're genuine, and they know what they're building and who they're building for, it seems to work a lot better. So what are the things to watch out for with the model I use? Well, of course, the banks are used to fixed price, tendered, black box contracts. They may feel more secure with that. Of course, they're more expensive, but a lot of the risk is removed from you as a developer or as a one-off person. The next bit is your involvement is greater. I spend ages doing invoices. They don't end. I can't even do an invoice day on a Friday sometimes because there's so much happening. It's coming thick and fast. And each trade, I'm a little bit flexible depending on what they need. Some may have in their contracts a longer invoice time. Others may have a shorter one. But there's a lot of work in the finance side. And then, of course, it's after the event. If there's a defect, I have to wear that, not pay for it, but I have to coordinate its solution, go to the trade and make sure it's fixed. Of course, with good contract works insurance and good, consumer insurance at the other end, this is not really a big problem, especially when you've got builders. But sometimes things go wrong, like there might be a screw that's gone through a pipe, as I've had. That's readily fixed and quickly fixed. But it's just not hands-off. I'm on site frequently. I do the walkovers. I make the decisions. And sometimes those decisions are mine alone. So I see the benefits of what I do as much better. It's collaborative. I'm not holding retentions. I'm not threatening liquidated damages. I'm paying quickly. The builder, who may not have a huge amount of capital at times, depending on what they're doing, they're not carrying large bills for materials. It's transparent. And of course, it's flexible, but most importantly, it's based on trust. We have to build better by doing it together. We need to do it well, and we need to challenge some of the ways things were done. So that's bricked and mortared. Thank you for listening, and I'll chat to you next time. Bye-bye.